I have my own opinions about the map test, which I will keep to myself. I think anything can be used as a way for you all to learn and understand yourself better. So I want to walk through the milk thing, right? That we're all saying and laughing about. So so just so I understand it, because I want to be able to understand it. Okay. So somebody was jumping, trying to avoid cars.
Parkour.
Okay. He's doing parkour. Why do you?
It's not about the vision. It's about
No. But I'm just setting up the whole context. So someone is jumping in between cars and then gets hit by a car.
His lips like plant.
So you know it's planned. So you know he purposely got hit by a car. Or are you just guessing?
She's guessing. Because of Mr. Light.
Okay, so some guy was hopping through cars and then got hit by one.
He slipped.
Huh?
He slipped and
Okay.
hit in the pavement. And somebody that was watching him do the parkour said, "Somebody, he needs stop."
Yeah, okay. So just to know what we're laughing at someone seriously getting injured, okay? Or people who are so desperate for attention they want to do that so people watch it.
Yeah.
And if that's what, and then, so if you think it was funny or dumb of that guy to do it, I want you to think of yourself. Are you searching for views? Are you searching for likes? Are you wanting people to watch you, your channel, yourself, whatever you're doing? So obviously that person felt a lot of pressure if he's just wanting to get views on his thing to do that. And now we're all laughing about someone getting seriously injured and possibly even dying.
Many people get seriously injured.
But
He was laughing.
Like imagine that the video is not there. We laugh about
Stop.
I understand context. Context is important. Okay? What you all were watching was that video. It looked like I was staggering around and then you were laughing.
No, but we don't.
Context. Context.
Mr. Light, but look.
What was seen is you looking at a video and laughing. So no one knows
Tell you something
what it is.
very
Okay? So
important.
context.
Like, we don't pay attention to the part that he feels. We pay attention to the part that she says, "Somebody, he needs some."
I understand that.
Like, we don't care.
And that came from someone getting almost killed or seriously injured or pretending to for your enjoyment.
He was protecting her.
And then we all have, but just think about it. Is that who you want to be?
But it's really planned because then another person came.
You guys don't know. You don't know. You think you know. You don't know. We don't know. You don't know.
So
Okay? There's people who have wanted to get more views and then they died because they did something really stupid.
like the guy that took the
Okay?
selfie with
So it's
Michelle.
just, it's,
behind the Guinness World Records.
you know.
And he died.
No. So, and that's not, it's, and I would argue that's not funny. It's completely and utterly sad that human life is looked at like that. And that is what they're trying to do, and they put themselves in a situation in which you're a father of two, and you put yourself, two young people, and you put yourself in a situation because you want people to watch you, and you die. I think that's, in my humble opinion, that's a complete waste. So think about that, because you are adding to it. Because the more you watch it, the more people think that's how they get famous. And so the more people are going to do stuff like that. And the pressure is going to be on you to do stuff like that.
No, because we don't want to be.
You guys have never been in a situation where you've been pressured to do something that was kind of stupid?
Yeah.
No.
So, just, it happens. Believe me, it's happened for eons. That's the relationship. Okay. We got to move on. I'm sorry. We have to move on. Interesting conversation. We'll have some at some other point. Okay, so hopefully you got your learning strategy paper, okay? Because as I've said, anything you need to be successful will be on that table, and I'm not sure what the disconnect is. Just look on that table. That's where you'll get it. Okay? Whatever notebooks you have, if there's going to be a learning strategy paper, if there's going to be resources, your responsibility is to come in and get that stuff from the table.
Dear host.
Okay? That's your responsibility. And hopefully you all saw the note to have your writing notebook. And
Always.
every time you will bring your writing notebook, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Okay. So, we're talking about perspective in reading. let's say last year, I'm making up a hypothetical situation. So last year I have a student come up to me and they're like, Mr. Light, I'll make up a name. Jorge stole my food, just ate it all in front of me, and was very mean to me. And so then I go down and I'm like, Jorge, listen, here's a warning ticket. I'm writing you up. You need to go talk to the principals immediately. Would that be fair of me to do? Talk to someone sitting next to you.
No.
And why not?
He was being Jorge's first. Like maybe the other guy punched him and did something.
He didn't have a chance to
Like
talk.
old story from his life. Or like
3,
when Annabelle is
2,
like, no,
1, and 0. I heard a lot of you say, I didn't get Jorge's perspective. I didn't get his chance. Okay? And that's history. That's what historians deal with all the time. Historians have to think about what are the different perspectives. We live in an age now, which is nice, where you can actually get different perspectives. Okay? Back when I was a kid, you just got the history book. That's it. That's all you got. And the history book is written by the people who won. And they get to tell their story. I didn't won. Who conquered? Who was the winner? So like when I was a kid, you grow up, we have Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is fun. It's great. It's a celebration of Native Americans and pilgrims hanging out and loving one another and having a good time. Well, the truth is that we murdered and stole the land of people who were living there. Like, that's the truth. And they probably were very regretful that they helped us out, right? So they helped us out, and in return to their favor, we were like, we're taking your land and we're killing all of you. Okay? That's the truth. Okay? That's the truth of, well, I mean, it's not ever that simple. But that's part of the truth that we never listened to as a kid. I never got to hear that message. I never thought of the perspective of other people because the history book told me what to say and told me what to believe. Okay? Books tell you what they think to believe. Okay? But it's your job as a historian to try and search and find the different perspectives. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a few days for you to research both sides. So the question of, should the Europeans, was it a good thing that Columbus discovered North and South America? So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be researching both sides, okay? European side, current side, researching the Aztecs, the Incans, their perspective, okay? And then you're going to need to be able to defend both points. And on Tuesday, you will find out which point you're defending, and we will have a debate. Okay? So you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared on Tuesday.
What do you think? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Actually, maybe it's Monday. It's either going to be Monday or Tuesday. You'll come in. I will tell you what you need to defend, either pro or against, and you will have some debates with some of your classmates.
Why are you gonna tell us that what we need to defend if we defend another thing that you said us?
The question is, was it a good thing that we discovered it? So you need to say, you need to be able to defend, yes, it is a good thing, or no, it's not. You need to research both sides. So that on that day, I will tell you, we will flip a coin, and you will know which side you're defending.
But that's not like a good thing, because if we say, like, really, it's a passing, and we get that it's a good thing for the Spanish.
Yeah, you have to be able to defend, but that's what real historians and real research is the ability to let your mind go and understand both perspectives. And then be able to defend both perspectives. That's what debate is. Okay, debate is not yelling at what you believe in. Debate is understanding both sides and then having to argue both sides. Okay, so we will try that out. Okay, so I was hemming and hawing over. Do I want to show a visual? Do I want to do writing? I thought I would go with a visual. So this is. Oh, did I? Maybe I'll just increase the size. I have two visuals here. All right. Come on. All right. So over here we have Cortez and the Aztecs. And this is a Spanish painting of Cortez conquering the Aztecs. Over on this side, and I'll try and zoom this in more when we look at it, is an Aztec depiction of the conquistadors attacking them in a temple. Okay? So let's zoom in on our friend Cortez. So if I look at this, I noticed some things. He's above the Aztecs. I don't see any sort of blood. I see people kind of vanquished.
Perspectiva.
I see him very light and kind of bright. So this is, he's looking very determined. He's not sweaty, right? His hair's perfect. Got the feather there. He looks great. He looks great. And he's in a very powerful situation. But again, it's not, we don't know what's about to happen, but it all looks like maybe he just went in there and was like, hey, this is what Spain's doing, and we're going to do it. And so that is the Spanish perspective there that I'm seeing. Like, it's a very positive thing. He's the hero. He's the centerpiece. He's the main thing. Okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to look at the Aztec drawing and the Aztec picture. And I would like you to have that, do that same process. What do you think this perspective is? Is it different than the Spanish perspective? And in what way is it different? So have that conversation with the people sitting next to you.
Well,
Is this a different perspective?
in one appears that the Spanish are the most powerful guys, and the other one appears like more than like the first one it appears that there is like just one guy killing 1,000 Indios, and in the other one appears that there is like 1,000 guys killing Chileans.
3, 2, 1, and 0. So from the Aztec perspective, a little bit more violent, right? I mean, limbs are being sawed off. You can see that the armor and the spears and stuff are no match to some of these unarmed people. And so you can see what's the truth of the matter. A lot of times it's that, I don't know if you've ever heard the expression, it's somewhere in between. So there's 3 sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and then there's the truth of the matter. Because even though you have a perspective, it doesn't mean you're 100% accurate with that. Okay, so it's just something to keep in mind. We're going to be cultivating both sides of this idea, both sides of this argument. So I will have specific things you will be reading. So your choice level will drop for the next couple days so that you are ensured of reading the different perspectives. Okay? So from here on out, just for these few days, think about perspective. We'll be studying those different perspectives and to see what's going on with them. Okay? All right. Now, I'm not going to give you time right yet to reflect on the lesson because we're going to try something a little bit different. And that's why you have the right. So I'm going to stop no matter what at like 10, 20, 6, or 7. And in that 3 and 4 minutes, you'll have a chance to reflect on the lessons, and you'll also have a chance to capture some ideas, interests, thoughts that you've had so far today in your writing notebook. So this isn't going away. I'm not kidding around about it. I'm expecting you every day, 3 times a day, to put something down in your writing notebook about something that's happening to you, something that's in your head, some thoughts, some ideas, maybe something that you learned right now. That can be added to your writing notebook. You will be capturing this stuff, okay? So I'm just going to move right into math and kind of go from there. So I was in a big hurry because I had my meeting, and so I couldn't remember. We're going to do this. And so I apologize to you. It's going to be a little frazzled today, which happens sometimes. The problem is 64 times 47. Solve it how you like. 64 times 47. Solve it however you see fit. I could do. Sometimes you need to change your perspective.
Oh, yeah, Mon. We have the chart. When can we continue doing healthy brain?
Probably more. So again, you should be attempting to solve it, not just having written it down. You should be writing it down. Be sure you have a, I didn't remind you, but always have an estimate. Always start with an estimate. Always, always, always.
50 times 50.
All right. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. Okay, so we're going to be connecting this idea of the area model that we've been doing, the partial products, and how all that fits with the standard algorithm so that you understand where the numbers are coming from. It's vitally important that you have an understanding, that you can look, because if you have that understanding, you can see where you went wrong. You can critique other people's work. That's going to be an expectation. I'll show you work of someone that someone did, and there'll be a problem in it. You're going to need to look at it and go, oh, I know what their misconception is. Okay, so we need to have this deep foundational understanding of what the process is. So I'm going to walk us through what the steps are. If you remember from last time, we start on the right-hand side. We start with the ones, okay? And then we do the ones with the ones with the tens. And then we do the tens with the ones and the tens with the tens. That's the process, and those are the steps. So the very first thing I'm looking at here is 7 times 4. So I know that 7 times 4 is 28. So I'm writing the 8 down here with the 1s, and the 2, which I have to account for, is now up here above the 6. Okay? All right, so this is the standard algorithm. This is something you are expected to start to learn and to master using these steps. Okay? So I have 28. The next thing I do, again, so I would have 7 times 6, or it's really 7 times 60, right? When we think about that area model. So I have 7 times 6 is 42, and then I have to add this 2. I can't just ignore it. So 7 times 6 is 42, and then I add my 2 to get 44. So 7 times 64 is 448. Okay? The next thing that I do is now I'm over here, and I'm looking at this 4. But remember, this 4 is a 40. Okay? This is 40 times 64. And because it's 40 times 64, and anything we multiply by a multiple of 10, we're going to have a 0 in the ones column. So we just write that 0 down. Okay? And that 0 is going to be now, that's 40 times this thing. So I already have the 0 written down. So now I just look at the 4. Okay? And I have 4 times 4 is 16. Ooh, I should have crossed this 2 out. It's good to cross the 2 out because then you know you've already used it. So I have 4 times 4 is 16. So again, I have that 6, and I have to keep track of that 1. I put it above my 2. 4 times 6 is 24. And then I have to add that 1, which is 25. And then the last step I do is I add. So I need to make sure things are lined up. Watching you guys, some of you do partial products. Some of you wrote it like this. But that's way wrong. Okay, if you're doing the algorithm, you got to line stuff up correctly. Okay, this is no good. So we have 8, 10, 10, and then 3. So my whole total is 3,008. So a good estimation would have been looking at 60 times 40 for 2,400, or 60 times 50 for 3,000. That would be a good way to estimate. If you're trying to estimate any other way, I would suggest just start off with multiples of 10. Change each one, round it. That's the most straightforward way to estimate, and you should be able to do that in your head. Okay, you should be able to do 60 times 40 in your head, 60 times 50, any multiple of 10 by any multiple of 10. Okay? Then you're not estimating. I guess would be my. It's not that you're not estimating correctly. You're just not estimating. You're trying to be too precise. Estimating is a very general sense. If you want to get around the answer, you're not looking to be specific in the exact answer. Okay. So again, we start with the ones. We go to the tens. One thing that you should and can be doing is, if you're not comfortable with this way yet, okay, but you do like another way, so you like the partial products or you like the area model, what you should do is after you figure it out with the standard algorithm, check it with the partial products or the area model. Okay, you should be able to see the same sort of numbers within it. Okay, so if I wasn't sure about this, I could look. And I could look at my area model. And if you wanted to turn it into the box model at this point, I wouldn't have that much of a problem with that. So I have 40 and 7, and I have 60 and 4. Well, again, the area shows the bigness of it. Okay, so that's why we do the area. So you can see that, oh wow, 60 times 40 is way more than 4 times 7. Okay, it's enormous. Okay, some people know it, but they don't understand it. Just because you know something doesn't mean you understand it. It means you're able to repeat it. Doesn't mean that you get the gravity of the difference between 0.16 and 0.0 or 0.8. That is an enormous distance, depending on where you're looking at it. Like, you have to understand scale, okay, especially when you're dealing with numbers. So I have 6 times 40 is 2,400. 4 times 40 is 160. 60 times 7 is 420. And 7 times 4 is 28. So if we look here, this bottom row is 448. Right there. This top row is 2,560. Okay, and if I add all these up together, I'm going to get 3,008. So check your work. Don't be afraid. But start trying the standard algorithm. Okay? All right. Writing. I'm going to go over the schedule, especially since it sounds like Soren started talking to you about your memes and stuff. If you want to write this down, you can. I am recording it and all that good stuff too, so I will try and have that. Ooh. This week you will have today and tomorrow to be working. Next week you will have Monday through Thursday. Upon Thursday, you should have a... Let me back up. You should have a ready-to-be, finally edited second memoir. Okay? Different from what you've already written. It could probably be about the same topic, if that topic is super important to you, but you're going to want to try and figure out a different structure, or maybe some different compilations of stories to think about. Okay? The next week, Monday and Tuesday, will be your time to be really focusing on that meme that Soren was talking about, what your 6-word memoir is. We're going to be publishing these pieces onto the web. And what that means is you'll have one of 3 things in my head that you can do. Number 1, you can publish it as a Google Doc, make it public to the web, and I'll tell you why we're going to do this. You could record it, so yourself reading it, okay, just the audio. You could do a video of it, okay. What we're going to do then is your work is going to be on the cloud, okay, on the meme that you are creating in art, okay, that is a representation of your memoir with your 6-word memoir on it. We'll also have a QR code on it. A QR code, when you scan it with your phone, takes you to a website. Okay? The website that you will be taken to is your published memoir. So those will be hanging in the art gallery for anyone with a cell phone to scan and look or listen to your work. Okay? So we want to invite all the parents in next Wednesday for you all to kind of publish and have a publishing party of your meme, of our memoir, okay, of the memes in your 6-word memoirs with the QR code on them so your parents can go around, scan them, read them, listen to them, however you choose to publish it. Yes, sir?
So again, we're going to do the normal memoir and then a 6-word version of it?
Correct.
Okay.
And we publish...
Yes.
We only...
Hold on, I think Jose and then Manol.
But the 6-word memoir we already did.
You're writing a whole new memoir, so you will have a whole new 6-word memoir. You're not writing the same memoir. You are writing a completely different memoir.
Not
Manolo.
completely.
Well, bless you.
That is, in this mini lesson, we're going to learn something.
Yeah, I'm just about to start it. I was just waiting for the questions to be done. Okay, so I'm showing you a picture of this. I'm not even going to give you time because we got like 6 minutes left. That is a arduous rendition of the Big Bang. The Big Bang is the start of the universe. It's a theory about how our universe started. It's not an actual fact. So what we're going to talk about today is how you, as a writer, can develop a theory about yourself. So a lot of times we look at characters, right, in books, and we start thinking about them. We make judgments about them. We have theories about who they are as people. Okay? Well, we can do the same work about ourselves. And the strategy that I'm going to share with you is this one over here, about how to develop a theory about yourself. One of the things you can be doing is rereading your entries. What do you write about? Just like we started this unit. What is important to you? What themes do you keep revisiting back and back again? The other thing you can be doing is thinking about your life as well. If you don't have as much entries as you should have, then rereading them is not going to do anything for you. Okay? But thinking about your life, rethinking about your life, that is going to be a powerful piece for you. And using a filter to rethink and reread your life. And what that looks like are those thought prompts there. So, for example, if I constantly go back to the time where my mom is telling me that we're moving again. When I was in Utah. And I really start to think about that, because that's something I've written about a lot. And I look and I want to try, let me see, some people think I'm, early on I had this problem, later I changed. Early on in my life, I had to move a lot. And so is that something about me? I had the problem, I always had to make new friends. Always. Early on, I always had to make new friends. Later, I got a group of friends that I've had since like 10th grade. I still talk to them almost every day. That could be something I look at. I hadn't really thought about that before. So early on, I was always, from 3rd to 7th grade, new kid, having to make new friends. And then later, when I got to high school, I made a really good set of friends that I'm still friends with. That could be something. My ideas about myself are complicated. On the one hand, I think. On the other hand, experiences, relationships, struggles can teach us. Struggles. I struggled a lot with the social thing, always being new. I think one of the things, I mean, if you can wait like 4 minutes, this is really the key time. So for what to do today, for the strategies, for the teaching points, I would say above any point, this 30 minutes is where you should. If you can't focus because of it, then please go. Okay. Struggled. I struggled trying to get friends all the time, being new. But I think that helped me it taught me how to have a sense of humor and to not take myself too seriously and try to fit in with all sorts of different groups. And I think that's helped me probably an enormous amount in my life is that. When blank first happened to me, I thought it was about, but now I realize it was really about. When that happened to me, when my mom told me we were moving, I thought it was about me missing out on soccer. I thought that's what it was. I was upset because I didn't get to play in the soccer playoffs. But now I realize, like I've said, it was really about me not having control over my life. And having to move yet again, and having to make new friends yet again. But again, that turned into a positive, I think. That turned into a struggle. So what did I do? I thought about the entries I keep revisiting back to. What do I write a lot about? Okay? I went back to memories in my head. What is important to me? Okay? And then I went through those lists. And I tried to think, is this a prompt that's going to help me, or is it not? And then I tried it. And I went from just thinking about that one event, thinking about friendship struggles, thinking about friends that I have had since my freshman year of high school. So that exercise really opened up now my eyes to see all the different things I could be writing about for my next memoir. And I just want to end with, this is exciting. Okay? Very few times do we get to practice this stuff. A lot of times, like, you get to do it once and that's it. Okay? So look at this as the opportunity it is for you to perfect your craft, not only as a writer of memoirs, but thinking about yourself as a person and who you are and why do you do the things that you do. Okay? So right now what I want you to do is, in your writing notebook, or be thinking about your life, what do you think you're going to be focused on today? What event do you think you're going to be thinking about? Just take a moment and give me a thumbs up when you think you have one.
What event?
What entry in your writing notebook are you going to be revisiting today? Are you going to be thinking about a memory and doing the prompts? What specific memory, what specific entry are you going to be focused on today? Give me a thumbs up when you have.
Can I go to the bathroom? While I go, I think about events.
Yeah.
Again, thumbs up when you think you've got an idea. If you want to, you can. You don't have to. Where's your old one? But still, push yourself. Push yourself. Use those prompts because it may change your mind as to what you're going to write about. Okay. So from this point forward, we have about 5 minutes. It's not time to go. You're not going anywhere. Do not leave the area. Take a moment, look through that learning and strategy paper, fill that out, reflect on what the lessons were. Also, take a moment to fill out your writing notebook. What are some things that have happened to you so far today? What's an idea you've had? Did an interest get sparked today because of something? Okay. So think about that. Take this time to really truly think about your day, your evening, how things are going for you, what brilliant ideas you have bubbling around in your head, that if you don't write down, they'll just disappear. I promise. They'll reappear at some point. Yeah. I'm getting it because I think it's horribly important that you all view yourselves as writers. And what a writer does is they study their lives. And there is nothing, upon nothing, more important for a human being to do than understand themselves and why they do stuff. And the best way to do that is using a writing notebook and capturing your thoughts and ideas and what you do and all of that stuff. Hold on, there's a part for that, but we're not doing that yet. We're still sitting down. We're still thinking about you're writing down some ideas you've had, some experiences you've had, maybe how Minecraft class went for you yesterday and the exciting things that happened that you were so looking forward to, taking a moment to writing it down and capturing the spirit and the image and the thoughts of that day so that you don't have that. Or last night. Because really the goal is for you all to take these home and do this at home.
Nobody's doing that.
I understand, and that's sad.
It would be a little bit freaky. It would be a little bit freaky.
It would be a freaky thing to do.
Yeah.
To look at your writing and your writing journal so importantly that you carry it with you and you write down ideas and stuff when it happens to you.
Yeah.
Well, I would want to change your mind about that.
I don't like that in my writing notebook.
I don't like people to change their mind about something.
Idea notebook.
Yeah, we can have
The part of your writing notebook is having ideas and writing ideas down.
Like if I don't write it in my writing notebook, but I write it in this journal,
Fine.
the one that
Whatever you have that works for you. I just think it makes sense to do it in your writing notebook so that when you're writing, you have it. Because a lot of times when we write, we need ideas, and is all of our ideas. I have not asked anyone to go anywhere. We still have 3 minutes.
We need to be all
Push yourself. It's not a talking thing.
Readers research both percent.
You can view this as this time in time for yourself.
I learned how to debate.
Before you leave for recess, think about how you want this classroom left. At this point, I'm probably going to not allow cardboard to be used for a while because people just threw it back in that were used it. They didn't break it down. They threw a box in, and then another thing is just on the floor in the closet. The cardboard. Cartón. The desks in the back, you had loose leaf paper left on them and a whiteboard. So that means loose leaf paper could be taken away. Whiteboards could be taken away. So really leave this room like you want it to be left. Please turn in your learning strategy paper.